Hello everyone, welcome to UN Digital Class. I am Ms. Milan Samantray, lecturer in Department of BSc ITM. In previous class, I have discussed about addressing modes, that is only the immediate addressing mode and indirect addressing mode. So, we will continue with the previous class, and in this I am going to discuss about some other addressing modes, that is index addressing mode, relative addressing mode and auto increment, auto decrement addressing modes. Okay. So, let us start. First one is our index addressing mode. Okay. What do you mean by index? Basically, when we are talking about the word index, it comes with the topic array or the list type of data structure. So, when we deal with the array concept or linked list concept or list concept, then we will implement that by using the index addressing modes. And in the index addressing mode, as I have already told you that for every addressing mode we have to calculate the effective address. What the effective address defines? It gives the actual position of an operand, and that operand we need to do our operations. So, for calculating the effective address in index addressing mode, we have to add a constant value to the content of a register. That means, the effective address of an operand is generated by adding a constant value to the content of a register, and that constant value is called as offset value, and that register which contains the location, that register is called as index register. And what is the syntax of index addressing mode? The syntax is XRI. Here X is the constant value which we have to add, and this RI is a register which contains the memory location, and that is why this register is called as index register. Okay. And this constant value is called as offset, or we call it as displacement. Displacement from the content of register, that is a memory location, to the operand is present. That means, where the operand is present, we have to calculate that memory location. And how we will calculate? By adding this constant value, this x value, with this index register content. Okay. I will give an example later, and in some other cases also we can write the same concept x ri, but here r contains a constant value and x contains the index value. That means, the memory location. For both of the cases, we have to add the content of these two values to calculate the effective address. Okay. Whatever the case, whether register contains a memory location or it contains a constant value, or this x or the offset, either it is a constant value or it may be a memory location, but when we are calculating the effective address in index addressing mode, we have to add these two content to find out the address of the operand. Okay. So, let us take an example that when I am talking about this x and ri, let this is one memory location, okay, and here is the 1000 location, and r contains the memory location 1000, but after executing the instruction which is stored in the 1000 number of memory location, that means here we have to execute the instruction which is stored in let 1040th number of memory location. So, we have to skip all these memory locations to get into this from this location. So, how we will go there? If we will add 40 with this 1000, then we can get the value of 1040, where we will get our next instruction or the operand, you can say. Okay. So, here the offset value is, you can tell is our 40 because the register content is our 1000 and the constant value is 40 which is added into the register content for getting the memory location of the operand where the operand present. Okay. So, here the offset value is 40 we can say because we displace up to 40th location you can say to get into the actual memory address of an operand. But in some cases the R value may be 20, it is in somewhere else let and X value points into 1000. If I will take this example, then let R value is 40 here and X value is 1000. So, to get into the memory location of the operand, then we also have to calculate, we also have to add these two values to get the 1040. So, whatever the cases you have, either the constant value in X or in Ri or the memory location is in the Ri or register or X, but you have to add both of the content. Then you will find out the actual address of an operand. Then you can fetch that operand from that memory location and you can easily perform the operation. So, let us see how we will execute this index addressing mode when we are having the list of informations and how we will use this. So, for this let us, here I have stored n number of students. This is the student 1, student 2 and student 3. I have stored it in a tablelet and each student has given 3 tests and we have to calculate the sum of each test result. That means, we have to calculate sum 1, it is the summation of test 1 of student 1 and test 1 of student 2 and test 1 of student 3. Then as same sum 2 is T2 or test 2 result of S1, then test 2 result of S2 and then test 2 result of S3. And like this I have to calculate the summation of all of these test values. After that we have to store the sum into another memory location, let that is sum 1, sum 2 and sum 3. Okay. So, for this if I want to write the assemblable language code for this concept, then what we will do first? So, this is the code for representing that example. First we have to move the list, here I am using the immediate addressing mode. The list value is moved into the R0. First what is the list? List points to 0, then we will increment the list value. It is list for plus 4, then list plus 8, plus 12 like this. So, first this, that means R0 content is now what? 0. Okay. Then you have to clear all the content of R1, R2 and R3 because we have to store some new value in R1, R2 and R3, that is why before going to add the new content we have to clear the register. Then move n into R4. Here in this example n value is 3 because I have taken only 3 students. So, n value is 3 and now that is transferred into R4 and R4 value is used to check the branch. When the R4 value is 0, then automatically the branch will terminate it and then we will go to the result. Then what is the next instruction? Add 4 R0 R1. That means what is the content of R0? R0 content, the memory location, that is 0, or here I am using the 32-bit processor concept. That means if a system is having 32-bit processor or I am having a 32-bit system, then each memory location is incremented by 4, okay, as I have discussed in the byte addressability format. So, for this here I am using R0 plus 4, that means in this instruction now R0 plus 4, and what is the R0 content? It is 0, and then plus 4, whatever the address, so the content of that address or that memory location will be added into the R1, okay, and R1 is clear, that means there is nothing in the R1. So, in this instruction what R1 holds? R1 holds the content of the memory location which is stored in R0 plus 4, and it points to the this location, okay. So, now R1 holds T1, okay. Then 8 R0 R2, here I am using the index addressing mode, and here R0 content is added into the constant value 8 to get the new memory location, and what is the new memory location? It will point to this plus 8, that is our T2 value. So, now R2 contains T2, and here what R3 contains 12 value is added with the R0 memory location, then you will get the memory location of the operand, which we have to add to the content of R3, then we have to store in the R3. So, what is the content of R0? R0 is here 4, because we are not updating the content of R0, wait. So, by adding 12 we will go to this memory location, it is 12. So, R3 now get it is T3, it is T1 of S1, it is T2 of S1, and it is T3 of S1. Now, what is next instruction? R hash 16 R0. Here I am using the immediate addressing mode, hash 16 R0, that means you have to add whatever the content of R0, and R0 content is 0, and we have to add 16 to it. So, now R0 value is updated into 16. Then decrement R4, now R4 value is 2. Then branch greater than 0, yes, it is 2, then go to the loop, and here loop points. Now add 4 into R0 content. What is the R0 content now? 16. So, we have to add 4. So, now R0 content, R0 plus 4 means it points to the 20th number of memory location, okay. What is the 20? Here. So, it is the T1 of student 2. Then add 8 into the content of R0 and store it in R2. Okay. You have to add the content of R0 with 8, then after getting the operand you have to add it with the R2 content, then you have to store it in R2. So, what is the value of this instruction? Now, it is whatever the R0 value you have to add it with 8. So, it is 16, 16 plus 8 it will be 24. So, what is the 24 content? It is T2, and T2 value is added with the content of R2, and what is the content of R2? It contains the test 2 result of student 1. So, we have to add the test result of student 2 and store it in R2, and then like this 12. So, you have to add R0 plus 12 here. What is the content of R0? 16 plus 12, it is 28. So, what is the 28 memory location holds? It holds the test 3 result of student 2, second student. So, I can write T3 dot S3. Okay. Then add 16 to R0, then again add the content of R0 or the value of R0 with 16 and store it in R0. So, what is the new value of R0? It is 32. Okay. Then you have to decrease the R4, it is 1. Okay. So, branch greater than 0, yes, then go to loop. Now, R0 value is here, R0 value is 32. So, 32 plus 4 is our 36. So, what is 36 content? The content of 36 memory location, and add that content with the content of R1, then store it in R1. So, now R1 contains the sum of T1 result of student 1 and T2 result of student 2, and what 36 location holds? It holds the test 1 result of student 3. So, you can write test 1 result of student 3. So, like this, go to up to this, it is T2 dot S3 plus T3 dot S3. Then add here 16 to R0. Now add 16, what is the value? It is 48. Then decrement R4, now R4 value is 0. So, branch greater than 0, no, it is false. Then go to the next instruction, that is whatever the content of R1 will be moved into the sum 1. What is the content of R1? R1 is the sum of these 3 test results, and we have to move this into the sum 1. As you can see here, sum is 1 is the result of this, sum of these 3 values, and like this sum 2 contains the value of R2, and R2 contains the sum of these 3 test results. So, for this type of concept, when we are using a number of values in a list format, or we store a number of values in an array, or you can say in a matrix format also, we will use this index addressing mode. Okay. When we have to jump some memory location to somewhere, but in this we are not using the concept of PC, we are not incrementing the content of PC, we are incrementing the content of some general purpose registers or other registers, some special registers also, but not in the PC. For PC incrementing, we are having another addressing mode. I will discuss it later, but this addressing mode is basically used to increment the content of general purpose registers, and the general purpose registers R0, this notation is the syntax of indirect addressing mode. That means here R0 contains memory location and it acts as a pointer register. Okay. So, this is the example where I am adding an offset value with the content of one register. Okay. Okay. So, let us see, in some other cases, to improve the performance, we have to store this offset value in another register, let that is Rj, and this Rj or this register is called as base register. Okay. And we have to add here also the content of Rj with Ri, and you can write this like Ri and Rj. Here the second register contains the offset value, that is why that register is called as base register. So, in some questions you may ask that to get the effective address by using the content of base register, what will be your answer? You have to write that to get the effective address, you have to add the content of base register with the content of index register, because the offset value is stored in base register and the other memory location is stored in index register. So, by adding both of the register content, you can get the effective address. And also in some other cases also, we can write like this, you have to add these 3 values to get the effective address, and basically this is used to implement 3-dimensional array. When we are having 3 dimensions, there we use 2 offset values, one is in X, another one is in Rj or in base register, and with the RI to get the new location or to get the effective address. Okay, that is the actual location of the operand. So, this is all about the index addressing mode. So, let us see the next addressing mode, that is relative addressing mode. So, next is our relative addressing mode. Okay. So, what relative addressing mode determines? In the previous addressing mode, we are using the general purpose registers. So, when in the index addressing mode we use the PC in the place of general purpose registers, then you will call it as the relative addressing mode. Like you have to write like this. That means here the offset value is added with the content of PC. As you know, the PC contains the memory location or the address of next instruction to be fetched. So, to get the next instruction, sometimes we have to add some constant value with the PC, basically in the branch instruction executions. So, here the X value is the offset, and in the place of index register we are having the PC. So, to calculate the effective address for relative addressing mode, we have to add the constant value with the content of PC to get the new memory location or to get the address of the operand. So, it is used in branch instruction. Okay. So, in the previous assembly level language program, when I have written, that means like branch greater than 0, you have to go to loop. Let this branch greater than 0 loop, it is stored in the memory location 1020, and this loop label points into let 1010th number of memory location, and in between we are having some instructions. Okay. So, here it is the PC value, old content of PC, but we have to load the PC with this address. How we store? Because PC we know we can only increment the PC value, but when we have to load the address which is lesser than the content of PC. So, how we will do this? Here the PC content is what 1020, but the next instruction to be fetched, it is stored in 1010. So, to go to that location, we have to decrement or we have to add PC value with -10. As we know that the system only do the addition operation, it cannot perform the subtraction operation. Okay. So, PC is added with -10 value here to get this memory location. So, what is the offset value here? The X value is -10. You can get the offset value as negative also. For this type of concept, we use the relative addressing mode. Okay. As it is related to the program counter, that is why it is called as relative addressing mode. Okay. And only to increment or to change the content of PC, we are using this. The next is auto increment and auto decrement addressing mode. So, this addressing mode is used like this, auto increment is like this and auto decrement is like this. As you can see, first we have to fetch the operand, then we have to increment the value. Here also this RI is a pointer register and that register contains a memory location and we have to increment that location. We are not going to increment the value which is contained in that memory location. Okay. So, here first we have to fetch the operand which is stored in the memory location and that memory location is stored in RI. let Ri contains suppose 100. Okay. So, 100th memory location contains the value 25. Here after fetching the 25, then you will increment the 100 value led to the 104. But in the auto decrement mode, first we have to decrement the memory location according to the processor. If the processor is of 32 bit, then it is decremented by 4. If it is 64 bit, then it will be decremented by 8, like this. So, first you have to decrement, then you have to fetch the operand. Why it is like this? Because the auto increment and auto decrement addressing modes are basically used in the stack operation. When we are doing the push and pop operation on the stack pointer, okay. Here I am using the concept of stack pointer in the place of register, because in this notation this register Ri also acts as a pointer. That is why I can write, when I will perform the push operation, we will use the auto decrement, and when I will do the pop operation, I have to use the auto increment addressing mode. So, this addressing mode is basically used in the stack operations for incrementing or decrementing the stack pointer. Okay. So, this is all about the addressing modes. We also have some more addressing modes, but these are some common addressing mode which are in the computer organization syllabus, and you can go to other addressing modes also when we will talk about the specific processors like 8085, 8086 or ARM processors. We will study some extra addressing modes. Okay. So, till then it is sufficient for computer organization. So, this is all about the today class. Keep watching. Thank you.